Now, navigating in 3D in Photoshop is very different from navigating in 2D. So you don't have exactly the zoom tools or the banning tools. They're not the same. So they don't work in 3D space. They can work, but they work in 2D even if you have 3D space enabled. So to go to 3D space, you need to have a 3D layer selected. Then you need to select the move tool. So here's my 3D space. Now if I will try to zoom in using the 2D tools, you can see I'm zooming as a 2D. So 2D, this is just a 2D zoom. I'm not zooming into my 3D space. So I'm not changing my view. If I have a camera, I'm not changing the position or the zoom on the camera. I'm only zooming in 2D space. So let's see how we can navigate in 3D space. So you can see the move tool. If you have a 2D layer selected, I have the 3D mode, they're grayed out. So I can't use those unless I am in a 3D space. So the first one is rotate the object. So it says rotate the object, but each one of these tools has a different functionality if you are selecting an object or if you are not selecting an object. So if you are selecting one, for example here, when this is the rotate, so if you hover over you can see it says rotate the 3D object. If I have a 3D object selected, and I can rotate the object. Okay, so this is if I'll go 3D, I have I'm going to delete this one. Say okay. Okay, I can delete the whole layer by itself, but what I'm going to do is just make a different thing like a cube, something very simple. Okay, I selected the cone. I wanted a cube. Okay, here's my cube. Now, as I said, here's the rotate tool. If I don't have anything selected, now I'll click on an empty space. I don't have my cube selected, so I'll click on drag, and you can see I'm navigating in 3D space around my center point of the word space, around my 0, 0, 0 axis. So this is the first one, and if I have my cube selected and try to do that, I'll be rotating the cube. Now this is cube that has different portions, and I'm going to delete this one again. I'm going to create a new layer, just a simple selection, and I'm going to create a 3D extrusion. So when I select this one, try to rotate, you can see how my object rotates around. Okay, so I'm going to undo. Now here's the first tool. So if I have light selected, I'll be changing the light as well. So this will depend if you have something selected or not. Okay, the other tool I have is the roll. So this is, if you hover over it, you can see it says roll the 3D object. So now if I don't have anything selected and try to do this, you can see how I will be tilting my camera. And if I have something selected, I'll be rolling it around an axis that is going perpendicular from my view. So I'm rotating my object around neither of its axes, as you can see. And again, if I have light selected, this will be the same as the rotate tool. So I have only rotate option for the light in terms of this infinite light. Okay, then the other one we have is the drag the 3D object. So this is like banning in 3D. So if I have nothing selected and try to do that, as you can see, I'm banning, but in 3D space. So if I go too far, I'll be not seeing anything from my scene. So you can see I'm going in 3D space. And if I have something selected, for example this one, I'll be moving it on the X and Y axes, not of the object or not of the word space, but in my screen space. So here's my X, here's my Y, and I'm changing the object position accordingly. Then the other one is the slide. So if I go ahead, you can see slide the 3D object. So this will work in the third dimension. If I have something selected, you can see I can make it go farther away from my camera. I can make it closer. So this is the perpendicular direction of my view direction. If I have nothing selected, I can go ahead. It's like zooming. Now zooming the camera is like moving towards the object or away from the object in 3D space. Now the last one is zoom, is the scale, sorry. So this is scale of 3D object. But you want to be careful with this one if you have nothing selected. For example, if I have this object selected, you can see I can scale it. I can scale it on one axis or three axes together. Okay, but let's say I have nothing selected and I'll try to drag. You can see this. It's not like zooming. What I'm doing here is I'm changing my field of view. So if I will take a look at my here's my current view. You can see here's my field of view. It's now 47. So if I'll change this, you can see this is 87. So you want to be careful with this. You don't want to have something like a very distorted image. If you will go too far, you can see how my 3D scene is being distorted. So I don't want that. I want to zoom out or in using this tool, using this light tool, so you can see this. Okay. So basically, this is how you can navigate in 3D space in Photoshop.